The concept of team building in Dokkan can be a bit of a daunting task for newer players, but in this video I aim to make the process for you a little bit easier and smoother, and you can understand what you need to do to build a good team within the game. That can be easy events, that can be hard events, that can do really anything in the game. Keep in mind you are going to need to have specific units for specific teams, but there are always going to be different options that you can use. And I did talk about this concept in my beginner's guide, but that video is an hour long. So what we're going to be doing is focusing specifically on the team building section of that video today, and sort of doing an example of building a effective team that can, beat things within the game. So the first step for team building, in my opinion, is you need to identify who your leader character is going to be. Now, in the case of this video, we're going to use one of the newest summonable units in the game, and that is going to be Super Saiyan 3 Angel Goku. Now that we have Super Saiyan 3 Angel Goku identified as our leader, we need to figure out what his leader skill is. In this case, I have it pulled up over on Dokkan Info, so we're all on the same page. It is Majin Buu Saga with Otherworld Warriors or Accelerated Battle, getting the stats, and then we have a 200% bonus to Kamehameha and Time Limit. So if we go back to the game, what we are going to want to do is go to the Majin Buu Saga category first, because that is kind of like the main team that you're going to be running this character on, right? So that's step one. We've identified our leader character. Now step two is we want to establish our rotations. Now when we go in here, rotations in this game are characters that you're going to be seeing on every other turn that are paired together, right? Now, what does that mean? These characters are always going to be residing in slot 1 and slot 2 linked up with each other. So when you're trying to build a rotation, you want to have characters that share a lot of common links and are going to be able to work well with each other and provide different roles within the fight. This Goku is known as more of a slot 1 character, especially at the beginning of the fight, because of his damage reduction in the first slot, where potentially he can eat an enemy super attack that would do a lot of damage in the first slot and then do whatever he needs to do, and we're not going to have to worry about defense. So what establishes a good rotation is going to be the link set, or the links that he's sharing with another character. So what we are going to do is go back to Dokkan Info right here and pull up the character you can see, and then in this website there's a fun little section that shows similar links. Now what we want to do is press down on this and do show more, so we can see all the potential characters that we would want, right? Or what we can do over here is go to the link tool button. This is a very cool thing where we can just click on this Goku right here and you can see where he's at. And now it's going to provide us a prompt with a bunch of different characters that share a different number of links. You can see right here, here are all the characters within the game that are sharing 6 common links with this Goku. You can see there are a lot of good ones. And then you can also see we have characters that share 5 and then characters that share 4. So when it comes to like the links and stuff like that, we have to think about what characters are going to be fitting on the category. Because as awesome as it would be to do like this Gogeta Blue right here, he is not going to be fitting on Goku's leader skill. So we need to figure out something else. Now, one thing that we need to look for in specific, is characters that are going to be on the Majin Buu Saga category, as that is his leader skill. And we can see right here the 2 common links, the 3 common links. It is a little bit messy, but I'm looking for a specific character. LR Super Vegito is going to work very well with this character because they share some common links and they are going to be on the Majin Buu Saga category. And the same thing could be said for the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. So if we go back over to the gameplay section here, you will see that we have, we've got all of our characters right here, and what we want to do is select this character right here, the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. Because in my opinion, despite the 3 links, these characters are going to work very, very well together, because this is a character that goes in slot 2 and stacks his defense, and then this is a character that goes in slot 1 and can kind of take the initial brunt of the attacks, right? So now, that is our first rotation out of the way. Now we need to set up our second rotation. So this is kind of continuing the second steps of the team. Now what we want to do is continue to find more characters within the Majin Buu Saga category. And in this case, what we're going to do, this rotation is going to be a little bit funky, but it's going to work out very well, especially when this guy gets his EZA very soon. What we want to do is put Tech Gohan for our slot 1 character that's going to be able to tank a lot of stuff. And then a character that shares a decent amount of links with him is going to be this version of STR Super Vegito right here. So now these are going to be our rotations, right? These are going to be the characters that we don't split off from each other. They're going to do a lot of good things together. They're going to be able to complement one another. And now we have a nice little foundation for a team, right? So now these are going to be our main setups. These are going to be the slot 1 and the slot 2 units that can kind of mix and match depending on the type advantage of the enemy and stuff like that. And now we have our team kind of set up. Now what we need to do is go to step 3, and that is find our floaters. And now when we look right here, what we're aiming for in a floater is a unit that's going to have utility, a unit that's going to be able to survive a super attack, potentially dodge a super attack, one that provides support for the team, someone that's not going to hinder the team with his performance, right? Or his or their performance, right? Obviously. Because so what I think we should do for this team is we want somebody that is going to kind of work well within the confines of the team. And in my opinion, I think Int Gotenks is going to be a character that works extremely well with this team, considering the just raw attack and defensive power that this guy is going to be able to bring to the table. I think that is a solid choice to put in the floating spot, considering he's going to transform into a Super Saiyan, get those Super Saiyan link sets going with like Super Vegito and stuff like that. I think he's going to work very well. And then another floating option that we could potentially look at, this is where things get a little bit tricky, because like we've kind of got our main 5, but now finding that 6th spot could be a little bit difficult, right? I think Super Easy A, Super Saiyan 3 Goku could work really well on this team. And then Super Easy A, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks could work really well on this team. And just kind of looking around, let's see, who else do we have on this Majin Buu Saga category, right? Not the best options, but like, let's just say we're just doing like regular events, right? Something that's not like completely impossible to defeat without like the best of the best, right? Somebody like this Tien right here. This is a character that could work out really well with supporting the team. If maybe we wanted to do a different linking partner for this Goku, we could potentially move these guys to the floating spot and put this version of Goku who transforms into a Super Saiyan 3 next to the other Super Saiyan 3 Goku. This would be a very fun rotation with a lot of damage that could potentially be done. But I think all in all, this is a better setup just because of what the power of the 8th year anniversary unit could potentially bring to the table. So now let's just, for the sake of the video, because this isn't like, you know, the be-all end-all, let's put Super Easy A, Super Saiyan 3 Goku on the team. So now we have officially set up our, you know, core Majin Buu Saga team here with the super class variant of this team. Now you can see here, you don't have to put units in specific spots except for the leader, right? You could put all these 5 characters that I'm like touching on the screen right now. You can move them anywhere you want except for the first slot where the leader is. It does not matter where you put them. I'm just putting them in the spots that I put them to give you a visual aid, right? The top row is rotation 1, the middle row is rotation 2, and then the bottom row is our floaters. So I think everything is a little bit more concise. Everything is a bit more clear. And now what we have done is identified how we are going to build a team. So using those core 3 steps is how I build my teams within the game, but you also have to keep in mind that a lot of teams are going to be set in a conditional setting depending on the event. Now, there's no such thing as a team, especially with these harder fights nowadays, like the blue zone over on JP. Like if we were to do this fight against Gogeta, there is no team in the game that has a 100% win rate against this fight, right? It's just, it doesn't exist. But what I would want to do for an example, let's just say we wanted to do stage 1 of this. Okay, so we're looking at the typings, right? We can see we have physical, we have tech, we have AGL, and then we have another physical phase. So one typing that's never really going to be a huge problem in this specific event would be like, would be tech, right? Because there's no fight, or there's no phase that is int that has type advantage over this first one. So if we know that and we were to want to go into stage 1 of this, we would want to kind of build a team that has some int focus. So what I'm going to do in this specific example is build a very similar team to what we just did, but in this case it's going to be an extreme variant. So what are we going to do? We're going to work through this version of Majin Buu, or a Majin Power team that is going to have some int focus, and then we can kind of move from there, right? So what we want to do is we would start by taking our first unit, which is going to be this physical Buu right here. Now, why are we bringing this guy as his leader? Because he's putting a 180% stat. You can see it right there. And now what we want to do is find a good partner for him. Now, this is where things do get a little bit tricky, but I think what I would want to do for his partner would probably be either this Super Buu right here, because he can potentially go into Buuhan and link up pretty well. So that would be the first rotation that we're going to set up. And now what I want to do is set up another rotation that is working for this version of Fat Buu right here, or Majin Buu Good, because this is a very, very solid character. And this is going to, again, kind of give us more of that int focus that we need. Because there is not going to be any, or tech, what's it called? Yeah, int focus, because there's not going to be, if I said int, my bad. Oh, well, yeah, no, we're focusing on int because there's no, what's the word? It was the typing of the fight, right? I'm tripping. But here we go. So this is going to be the next rotation that we have, which is going to be Fat Buu with the Exchange Buu. And now what we need to do is find floaters that work well for this team. Now, this is where things can get a little bit tricky with this team, but what we want to do is bring this guy right here because he is solid support for the squad. And then what we want to do is also bring the Easy 8 for Mr. Buu. you are a super class unit, right? If we go right here, oh, right here. So now we've kind of done the team with both of our rotations, and now we've also set up sort of what we were looking for. So if we refresh it, you can see we have a double Majin Power team, and we just did a speed run for the kind of team building setup. So what do you need to take from this video, right? Just in a quick 10 minutes. Step 1, identify your leader. What did we do? We identified our leader, and then we found his linking partner. We found our rotations with linking partners. This is the linking partner for this setup, and these are the 2 other linking partners for the next rotation. And then the third step is finding your floaters, and that is right here. We have, you know, this Boo and then this version of Boo as well. And then with that, we have the team set up. So now what we want to do is have the sets of rotations paired up with each other, and then our floaters continuing to float with the other one with the leader. Now, potentially what you could do is bring another, you know, rotation unit for the friend lead. So what we could potentially do is bring like this version of Exchange Boo and link him up with this version of LR Boo tanks, and then that could also potentially work. So you just have to keep that in mind, and those are the things that you're going to be picking up naturally throughout the game. So I hope now that you've kind of understood a couple of the key points, like I said, with the beginning process, finding leaders, finding rotations, and finding floaters. If you need any assistance with finding rotations and finding floaters for specific teams, I highly recommend that you use Dokkan Info. I closed that out, of course I did, but dokkaninfo.com. That website is going to be very helpful for you, and I think that, you know, if you use a link tool over there, that is going to be good for you as well. So let me know down below what you guys thought of the team building guide. I hope everything is more concise now and it makes sense. But thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you are new, and you can stay tuned for the member shout out. But otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one. Before we head out, I need to give a quick member shout out to all of the members who further support the channel. Big shout outs to Rylick, James, Macker, Static, White T Steve, Anto, Wet Towelette, The Demon or Blitz, Wanix, Joao, Shafted the Boss, Ashish, Scar, James, and Araudo. So big thank you to all of the channel members for further supporting the channel. It means a lot to me. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time.